So when I move my head here to the side, do you see all that is happening over here? Do you see the combination of all of this? This is a lot of Pisces energy. Like, there's so much of it. It's everywhere. It's unavoidable. How many Pisces placements is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's loaded. Okay. Hi, Gemini Nice. Hi, Miss Lady. Hi, Jibian. Hi, Zero Gravity. Hi, guys. It's nice to see some of the names that I recognize. So all of this concentration of Pisces energy is going to be felt. And what that looks like is emotional stagnation is being purged from our system. So if you're noticing that you're having a lot more emotional outbursts, you're noticing that you're having a lot more emotional issues, you're noticing that you're having a lot more emotional awareness, all of that is good. You know, it's not bad to feel emotional. We're all just a ball of feelings just trying to do life. There is no human being who doesn't have feelings. And in fact, a human being devoid of feelings is what we would consider someone that is psychopathic, because a psychopath is not able to process normal emotions the way other people do. This is why they derive a great deal of pleasure from harming others, because they feel nothing. When a person feels nothing, they don't extend, empathy, compassion, grace, kindness, and love to others because they feel nothing. So feelings are good. Feelings are healthy. We all have them. It's okay to embrace them. Let's get into some of the main placements for today before we get into these aspects, because that's really where all the pain points are for today, is within these aspects. So we have the sun in Pisces. We have the moon. Well, in the moon is officially in Capricorn. So let me travel back over here. And we have Mercury in Pisces. We have Venus in Aries. Our Mars is in Cancer. Our Jupiter is in Gemini. Our Saturn is in Pisces. Our Uranus is in Taurus. Our Neptune is in Pisces. Our Pluto is in Aquarius, and our North Node is retrograde. So Mars retrograde in Cancer is officially over. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Many of you have have had an explosive end to that transit. I'm sure yesterday or the day before yesterday, you may have noticed some resolution around issues that you've been having for a long time. Or if, there was a lack of desire to grow and evolve, what that would look like is, emotional explosion, because we're stuck in our old ways of doing things and we don't want to let go. And Mars is debilitated in Cancer, because Cancer is about maternal energy and Mars is about destructive energy. Obviously, being maternal and being destructive are not the same energy. So now that Mars has gone direct, still in Cancer, and right now at the 17th degree, which is Leo degree, there is a great opportunity here to actually move forward with problem solving, with resolving issues, with identifying new ways to cope, with being able to actually grow and evolve and look beyond the limitations that we initially placed on ourselves and move past those points. The other thing that's happening is that we have Saturn in Pisces. And as you know, Saturn in Pisces means that all of our karmic energy is coming from Pisces energy. So thanks to you guys that are tapping on the screen. Thanks to you guys that are here, that are liking the live. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming to hang out with me. I know I haven't been here in a long time, and I'm glad to recognize some names on here. So thank you for being back on and enjoying this time. I know this is a bit technical, but I think it's important to kind of have a better understanding of what's going on with the astrology, on a regular basis, especially this month, which is slated to be very chaotic energetically. And I want you to know why that is, and I want you to be prepared for why that is. And the reason why is this, is because Saturn is in Pisces, which means karma is in Pisces, and we have 5 Pisces placements right here. And that's the reason why. Because Saturn means karma, okay? And this is why Pisces rules the 12th house, which is our karmic house, okay? So the 12th house is the house of karma. If you want to understand what happened with your life prior to you being in this reality, you start with your 12th house. So when we have such dominant, because you look at the entire wheel, there is no comparison to how much, when you look at the Pisces energy on the wheel, there's no comparison with any other energy. It's literally weighing down the entire, zodiac wheel in one direction. Nobody else can compare. Yes, we have Cancer down here, Mars in Cancer, but as you can see, it's just one placement. Gemini, Jupiter, one placement. You get the drift. Neptune, but most of our placements right now are in Pisces. So those of you who struggle with sensitivity, with your emotions, with your humanity, with your vulnerability, with your self-compassion, you're going to be having a rough time. You're going to be having a rough time with this transit because this is the energy that we're going to be dealing with for a while. And the only way for this energy to feel better is for us to embrace our vulnerability, to recognize our emotional limitations, to make peace with our... Hi, did someone say emo? Hi, emo. Thank you for getting the #1 gifter badge. This is the time for emo people to survive. If you ever had an emo phase growing up, you should be doing great, because this is all about embracing the messiness that is the human experience. A lot of us like to think of it as being this perfectly packaged, thing that has, that is clean and orderly and everything has an answer and everything gets figured out. And yeah, that's not how it is. And more importantly, the purpose of life is to learn how to love. And this is why Pisces struggles so much, because love requires understanding your own limitations, the limitations of your environment. And then when your face gets hit with, areas of life that are inflexible, the only aspect of that you can then change is what's within. So it's either I can change my environment or I can change myself. Whenever we have to deal with personalities that are not vibrating at our frequency, what we do is we develop compassion for the frequency that they're at. Is that easy? No. Is it fun? No, I don't particularly like it. I don't particularly like feeling like I have to dumb myself down to be able to, relate and have positive experiences on Earth, or, I don't particularly feel good about having to experience feeling, people feeling self-righteous in the way that they abuse others and in the way that they, take advantage of others' kindness, and, just like being proud of how wicked they can be. And I don't mean wicked in terms of like imperfect. I mean taking pleasure in other people's suffering. Unfortunately, some people live that way. I can't change that about them. I can't make them into other people. I can't give them compassion and empathy. I can only accept that this is who they are. So a lot of Pisces energy is really about understanding that life is a mixture of both energies, light and darkness. Pisces loves the light that is in the world. Thank you so much for my gift. I appreciate it, Wealth. Pisces loves the light aspect of life. Like everybody's getting along, everyone is treating everyone fairly, everybody's being kind, everyone is compassionate, everyone is sensitive, everyone is in touch with their needs and other people's needs, which, by the way, that is Pisces' strength, is that there are inherently going to be the most psychic of all the zodiac signs, because they rule over the 12th house. And the 12th house is all about what is hidden, what's subconscious, what is beneath the surface, what is not easily accessible, what is dreamy. Neptune is a planet of dreams and illusions for this reason. So Pisces is able to understand you and them on a psychic vibration, on an energetic vibration. Pisces is able to decipher what's going on with you. Thank you, Danny, for being the #2, getting the #2 gifter badge. I appreciate it. Thanks to you guys that are giving me gifts today. I really appreciate it. My goal today is 5 roses, so hopefully we'll be able to get to it by the end of our live today. And thanks so much for the warm welcome. I'm happy to be back on here. So Pisces generally, because they have this innate spiritual energy, have no problems with being able to connect with you and anyone else around their needs, their sensitivity, their desires, the things that the people are hiding that are sensitive. Pisces can pick up on those things very easily without conversation. It's just an energy, because Pisces embodies pure love, the most purest form of love. This is why Pisces is exalted at Venus. So Venus is a planet of love, and Pisces being exalted at Venus makes Pisces a superior lover. And when you get to be a Pisces, you understand love outside of the confines of marriage. For Libra, marriage is where love is experienced deeply. For Pisces, love is experienced everywhere and in anything. Hi, RG79. Thanks for hanging out. Love is universal. Love is in everyone. Love is in all the animals. Love is in the trees. Love is in the infants. Love is in the elderly. Love is in life, in the air that we breathe. Pisces has infinite compassion, infinite love, infinite understanding, because their love is the purest form. Their love isn't mitigated by, selfish desires, meaning, oh, what can I get out of this person? What do I need to do so I can get this thing out of them? Pisces doesn't think that way about love. They think more in terms of, oh, I can see that you need it. Let me give it to you. And lucky for them, their well never runs dry. They have so much. They're so abundant when it comes to their ability to love. This is why when a Pisces is not loving, it's not good, because that's literally the only reason why they came here. They came here to teach all of us the true meaning of love. And the true meaning of love is one that is free, and it's one that is inherently compassionate and kind. Because when you love people, you're compassionate and kind with them. When you truly love someone, it's not based on what they can do for you. It's just the right thing to do. That's it. Any Pisces on this live, I want to hear from you. I want to read some of your comments before I go into some of the other aspects that are going on today. So someone said, the Pisces in my life is so sweet to me. Venus rules my chart. Oh, I love that. Venus ruling your chart is the luckiest thing that can ever happen to anyone. OMG, that one hit home. It's so true. I'm a Pisces moon. Very good. Pisces moon are very sensitive people, very attached to their mothers. But usually, there's some issues with that attachment, because it's like the emotionally neglectful mother of Pisces moon makes Pisces very aware of other people's needs. It makes them a young therapist. From childhood, these people, Pisces people, are able to tell what mother needs without mother saying anything. But if you were to ask mother anything about what baby needs, no clue. No clue whatsoever. No idea. These are the moms that buy their gifts that their kids don't like routinely, because they're not tuned in, they're not tapped in, they're not paying attention to their child vibrationally. I don't mean what is a child wearing and what kind of food does a child eat. I mean, they're not able to read the energy of the child, even though it's really sick, because a lot of spirituality is like conflicting emotions and conflicting energies. This is what I'm trying to teach you guys in everything that I do, is that life is about a combination of both. It's not about perfection, and it's not about being like the most evil person on earth. It's literally about both, because all of us are both all the time. So back to Pisces moon as an example. Mom's inability to pay attention to Pisces baby's feelings makes Pisces baby try harder to connect with mom. Because babies, infants, need their parents to survive. They haven't figured out all the nuances of life. They understand when I was born, I was hungry and mom had the milk. So baby's attached to mom because mom has the milk. Okay? That is the first point of impact. I'm hungry. When mom gives me milk, I feel better. I feel safe. So therefore, mom is safe. Mom is my person. In fact, infants believe mom is a part of them psychologically. They actually think mom is them and they are mom. They don't yet get that cognition, that understanding of that separation until much later. All of a Pisces moon, many of them still struggle with that until adulthood. These people can be in their 50s and have never worked through any of these issues. At the root of this is a lack of love. Pisces moon children hardly ever get love from their mothers. Okay? They hardly ever get love from their mothers. What they get from their mothers is control. Okay? So the mother wants the baby. The mother thinks the baby is her, is like her. She's not interested in learning the baby because she doesn't think of the baby as a singular cell outside of her. Do you understand? So Pisces moon unfortunately have mothers who absorb all of the baby's love but don't give it back because she thinks the baby is her possession. But at the same time, she's emotionally neglectful of the baby and insensitive to the baby's needs. So Pisces moon children, because they need mother to survive, they immediately go into this cycle of like trying to find the door to get mother to receive their love back. And the mother is impervious to that. She's not receptive to the love that Pisces moon has to get, except when she's in distress. She uses the Pisces moon baby as her therapist. Thank you so much for the gift. The Pisces moon mother uses the Pisces moon child as her therapist, but the Pisces moon mother is hardly ever interested in calibrating her mothering to tune into the frequency of Pisces moon baby so she can share love with Pisces moon baby. Many of these Pisces moon children end up taking that behavior on the road because they never heal from that. They never recover from that. This is why Pisces is a karmic placement, because Pisces rules the 12th house, which is the house of karma, and Pisces also is exalted at Venus, which is the planet of love. So children that were born with the planet of love hardly ever get enough love. And that is the irony of spirituality. It's the resistance to love that they experience with mother is exactly what makes them the beautiful humans that they become. It's like the butterfly in the cocoon. Are you guys following me? And oftentimes, you know, the darkness of that realization that, you know, you can be birthed by somebody who actually doesn't care to know your heart and know how you love and to respond to your needs in that tender kind of vulnerable way is overwhelming for most Pisces, and many of them will deny it. Many of them will avoid it, and many of them will pretend that this isn't in fact the relationship that they have with mom because they love the fantasy. Thank you so much, Shem K, for my gift. They love the fantasy of the mom they created because in their mind, they kept trying. And yes, mom is limited and she's not responsive, but they never kept trying. So they never stopped loving her. Even though she couldn't love them back, they never stopped loving her. So their story then is skewed. It's, I love my mom very much and I would do anything for her. Yes, that's beautiful. The other part of it is that mom didn't love you very much. And the way that she loved you was all about her. And it's a truth that many of them can never speak. Because the thought of that literally overwhelms the system and it crashes it down. Because again, Pisces is calibrated at love. That's literally all that they're here to do is give love, receive love, transmute love. That's all they do. That's their skill set. That's their energetic vibration. So naturally they're given to mothers who haven't had much love in their life. And the baby is actually here to heal the mother from that by giving her the purest form of love so that she could get a taste of that energy and then work on herself and heal what's keeping her from being able to experience love so that she's learning how to love through the Pisces moon child. But oftentimes, these moms, I think because of the deprivation of love that they themselves have suffered, they experience a Pisces moon child to be overwhelming, like overly needy, overly emotional, overly sensitive. They don't understand why the Pisces moon child gets stuck on things and why they let things make them feel such big feelings. And there's a lot of judgment and criticism from the mom to the child about how Pisces responds to life, which is going to be in an emotional, sensitive kind of way, as opposed to having curiosity about what is happening with you. Why is it hard for you to let that go? What's really bothering you about this thing? What can I do to make things better? What will make you feel better in this moment? What would be helpful? You know, what was that so hurtful to you? You know, these kinds of questions that elicit conversation around emotional exploration, Pisces moon mothers are not going to have any of that in their book. Because remember, these are the least loved mothers. Okay? These are the mothers that were deprived of love from their own parents. So she doesn't have the skills that the Pisces moon child needs. So the Pisces moon is her healer, but a lot of times she's going to be resistant to the healing because it requires her to get in touch with her pain, her darkness. She doesn't want to do that because she's scared. Okay? Let me read some of your comments and then we'll get into some of these other aspects. Someone said, my ex was a Pisces moon. Makes so much sense. Thank you for sharing that. Pisces moon people really struggle, and a lot of their issues really goes back to the lack of love they never received from their mothers. And many of them will much rather stay in close proximity with mother and ignore their anger about that lack of love, because many of them are very angry. That's what the gag is. And emotionally, after all these years of neglect and abuse, they turn very cold. When a Pisces becomes cold, becomes selfish, becomes insensitive, you know they're broke, because it is the opposite of who they are. They're not here to be insensitive or selfish. It's quite the opposite. And usually they're that way because they're hurt from mom. They don't want to heal. So then they embody mom's qualities. They start to embrace her energy as their own, in the same way that mom was rejecting their energy and mom was forcing them to be who they wanted the child to be. Pisces starts to mirror mom's behavior in the same way, where they embody mom now. And they have anger about that. But they're also not wanting to excavate, this part of their conditioning that, makes them kind of create this separation of like, oh, mom was a really sick person. The fact that she needed me to be her therapist is evidence of that, right? But Pisces moon doesn't want to do that. They want the fantasy of me and mom, we're like besties. We're great. Meanwhile, they're struggling with like severe substance abuse issues that they can't get themselves from under, but they don't want to talk about that. So that's pretty much the story here with Pisces. Someone said, Pisces stellium, all sixth house. Geez, sun, moon, and Mercury. Haley, I know you're going through it during this time. It's either you're going through it or you're doing great. Nothing in between. Because remember, Pisces is a mutable zodiac sign. Oftentimes, mutable zodiac signs function best in extremes. It's on or it's off. It's their struggle with like maintaining that balance, because the energies shift them back and forth constantly. So you have to let me know, are you doing great or are you drowning under this energy that we have? 12th house Pisces sun at 20th degree, Scorpio degree. Okay, I believe, let me look at the degree for today as you said that. I remember that coming up. Let's see, 1 second. because I want to get into some of the degrees for today as well. Yes, Saturn is at the 20th degree today. Saturn in Pisces at the 20th degree. So that's very interesting with this going on for you today. I'm curious to know what that means about finances for you, what revelations you have around your finances today. Because Saturn, as you know, is the planet of karma. So when Saturn is in Pisces, this kind of karmic energy is going to be very, very heavy. Thank you, Stacy, for getting the number 3 gifter badge. I appreciate it. Star Bear said, sounds about right, LOL. RJ, I'm also a Pisces moon. Oh, you're the one then. You know what exactly I'm talking about. Yeah, my mom is a Libra and she was a hot mess. As all Libra moms are. Point of fortune in Pisces and North Node are only in my Pisces. Very good. North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo then. Okay, very good. This resonates so much. Thank you so much for that feedback. Thank you, Wolf, for becoming the number 3 member on the team. I appreciate it. And thank you for my hen heart. RJ said, I always thought my mom was very self-centered and a lazy parent. All Pisces moon children have very self-centered moms because that is the opposite. You know how, so this is the interesting thing about sisters. So Virgo is preoccupied with herself. Everything Virgo does is about what's in it for her, what she can get out of it. Virgo is very strategic about everything she does. Virgo thinks 10 steps ahead about how this thing that she's going to do is going to play out in her favor. That's how she's wired, like a machine. Pisces, the sister of Virgo, is the opposite. Pisces simply leans into their spirituality. See, Virgo's mathematical equation, scientific. Pisces is spiritual, psychic. So Pisces trust the vibe. When Pisces doesn't need to do the math, because Pisces inherently already knows what's safe, what's not safe, what's good. Pisces inherently already knows the future. So Virgo's busy doing the calculations so she doesn't miss anything. And Pisces is busy trusting the future because she knows what the future holds. That is her gift. She can always read the energy. And I always say this to my Pisces clients. Pisces can always feel people's energy right away. And the energy that Pisces feels right away about people is always what it is. Another way that this shows up for Pisces people, sun, moon, or rising is whatever energy these people typically wake up in, that's the energy they have the entire day. It's really hard for these people to wake up in one energy and switch it. And it's very hard for them to meet somebody and think, that's not a good person. And then that person ends up being a good person. What I'm trying to communicate is that you have the most accurate sensor when it comes to reading energy. However, the delusion of Neptune, the planet of dreams, makes Pisces lie to themselves about what's actually going on. Because, as an infant, Pisces moon in particular, had to lie about the lack of love mom was giving. Because children cannot conceptualize that. The reality that there are mothers who actually don't care about how their children feel. Children can't understand that. So in order to cope with this huge betrayal of trust, Pisces has to lie to themselves when they're little about the quality of the mothering they're receiving, because it's the only way to manage. And many of them, unfortunately, never grow out of that stage of life, where we transition from the self-deception to just accepting that life is hard. And mom did the best she could with what she had, and all the love that you gave, some of it she received and some of it she couldn't. And that's okay. Many of them struggle to find that balance because that is a balanced perspective. It's right there in the middle. Because you were just here as a tool to assist her. Her readiness to change is upon her. You cannot control whether she's ready to change, whether she's available to change, whether she wants to change. None of that is within your control. So the self-deception really is there for Pisces to bury the shame. That's the other thing with Pisces moon. There's a lot of shame, and the shame is really what's behind the projection. What they will do is when they're experiencing negative emotions, instead of absorbing it fully, they will project it onto other people, other situations, other circumstances. They will find a way to jujitsu their brain into thinking that something that they created, which was bad, like they could start something bad and it ends up being bad. Instead of looking in the mirror and going like, okay, so that was a shitty thing that I did. Like, why did I do that? What made me do that? Pisces is not going to do that. They're going to blame the world. They're going to blame everybody else but themselves. They're not wanting to do that. That the level of self-reflection that's needed, they're not engaging in that kind of work. And interestingly, Sister Virgo also struggles with the same thing. Because remember, sisters. Virgo will do the perfect calculation, and whenever it doesn't land, instead of recognizing that maybe I made a mistake in the math, they're not going to do that. They're going to project. They're going to project that negativity outwardly. And that's why these two really struggle to grow spiritually, emotionally, energetically, because, to evolve, this is what Scorpio knows. You have to lose something. You have to break something down. You have to let some of your ego go down the drain so that the part of you that has real substance can emerge from there. And it's hard for Virgo and Pisces to actually address their egoic nature. This is why oftentimes Pisces, when unhealed, is the most covert narcissist you could ever meet. And Virgo, when unhealed, is a narcissist who's gravely unaware of their self-centeredness and the toxic ways that they do life. When you want to talk about narcissism, it's right on this axis of Virgo and Pisces. It's actually not Leo, and it's not Aries. Because an Aries can recognize when they've done something wrong. And so can a Leo. Now, a Leo is not going to be full-throated with it because pride, they're not going to spell out the ways that they feel bad. They would just do something to compensate for it. Leo will do an act to try to make up for the other act, so that it evens out, And Aries would just can laugh at how crazy they can be. Even though a lot of times people assume Aries and Leo are very narcissistic, it's actually the quieter ones. It's actually Virgo and Pisces. That's where the narcissism on the zodiac wheel sits. Because these 2 points require healing. One is spiritual healing, right? Meaning our connection to divinity. Because when we're not connected to divinity, we can't connect to each other. Because all of us come from the same place. And we can't see that when we don't see ourselves as part of the whole, which is what really Pisces is about. Unfortunately, the relationship with mom made Pisces believe it was them versus mom. So then they go out in the world and it's them versus everybody else. So they use their spiritual gifts to sniff out people's weaknesses so that they can manipulate situations to get their emotional needs met. And the irony of this is that they never actually quite feel loved, because in order for them to feel love, they have to heal the history with mom. So they often will get into partnership with people that they know are not capable of loving them the right way. And they would do that purposely to reinforce this belief that they're not worthy of love. And it just goes around and around and around. So let me read some of your other comments and then we'll go into the aspects. Someone said, so true. My niece is also a Pisces moon. We're the only Pisces moons in our family. Oh, I'm glad that you have her. It's hard being a Pisces moon. Shem K just reached member LV2. Thank you so much, Shem K. I appreciate it. All right. Congrats, Shem K. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Thank you for sending me a hen heart. And thank you for getting the number 3 gifter badge. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My gentleman is a Scorpio and Pisces moon, and I can see that part of him. Oh my God. And if he's Scorpio sun, yeah, because Scorpio spells trauma. You already know right off the gate. If you see Scorpio sun, moon, or rising, you should already know trauma. It comes with the territory. Because Scorpio is here to break. That's a spiritual mission of Scorpio. Scorpio is here to break. I always I usually have this analogy that Libra is the wife and Scorpio is a divorcee. Scorpio is a divorcee. That means like marriage didn't work out. So there was an identity that you had, some belief system that you had about yourself that was not real, and maybe it was real in that moment, but it's not real for as part of your evolution. So what's required of you now is to let go of that vision and then embrace another one with hope, because Scorpio's biggest issue is hope, because they've been broken so many times. It's easy for them to descend into the darkness, the pits of negativity, and that's where they live. And oftentimes when they're unevolved, they do everything out of fear and paranoia and a desire to stay in control. And it has nothing to do with love, hope, joy. If you were to ask these people what makes them feel good, they would struggle because they don't actually connect to what matters, which is love. Like, what makes me feel loved, not just what makes me feel passion. They love anger, but they don't love vulnerability, which is problematic because they're a water sign. So yeah, I'm glad that he has you, because Scorpio and Pisces is a hard combo with a lot of sensitivity, but depending on how you were raised, that can be inaccessible to you. Some of us are able to access it and some of us aren't. And if you're a water sign and you struggle with accessing your sensitivity, it's very difficult. Arja said, definitely. Haley said, thank you for this. So helpful to understand with my relationship with my mom. Wolf said, can I talk about on Mercury exact midheaven? Mine is in Aquarius. Can we talk about Mercury, Pisces Mercury? Pisces Mercury is a challenging placement because Pisces speaks in codes. Remember, Pisces is a spiritual zodiac sign, so they know things without knowing, so they have to slow their brains down to level with humans on Earth when they're communicating, because they're already ahead. When they're speaking about things, they're speaking about things like in the future. They're speaking about they speak in circles. Okay? Pisces, communication is debilitated at Pisces for this reason, because Pisces is here to... There's a reason why Pisces is a spiritual guru of the zodiac. I'll put it this way. Because what they need to get to you is information that is deep, that is hidden, and that they're not in control of. So Pisces Mercury in human life can struggle with communication because oftentimes the realest things they're not able to actually say out loud, if that makes sense. Because Pisces believes that when it's real, it's telepathic. Any Pisces Mercuries on this live? Or Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising? Pisces believes when it's real, it's telepathic, because human communication is very limiting. And it's also archaic. So that's not their forte. This is why they're very good at artistic expression. Pisces Mercury is excellent singer, excellent poet. Anytime they have to disconnect from the physical realm to communicate, that's where they thrive. In fact, I believe the Disney movie, The Little Mermaid, the Disney movie, I believe Halle Bailey, I believe she has a Pisces Mercury. And do you hear that voice when she sings? She literally sounds like she's from another realm. That's Pisces Mercury. Yes, my gentleman married a Pisces and she neglected their kids. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, when Pisces is unhealed, that's all they can do. All they can do is preserve this barrier between them and their emotions. That becomes like their mode of survival. So when Pisces is unhealed, they become like Virgo at their worst, which is kind of ironic, Because when Virgo's unhealed, they become like Pisces at their worst. Like the sisters, they trade when they're not well. When they're well, they stay in their position. When they're not well, they prey on each other's darkness. And that's how you know that they're sick. Because a Pisces that is sick is insensitive. They're uncaring. They're emotionally avoidant. They pretend to not have feelings that they have. They don't like to deal with any type of emotion. In fact, they would rather use whatever alcohol or drug they can get so they can shove those nasty, pesky little things as deep down, as far down in the ground as possible, just so they can avoid having to feel anything. That's what we expect from Virgo, because Virgo's naturally that way. Virgo doesn't need to do anything to be that way. That's how Virgo is. Virgo is focused on the task at hand, and that's how they were made to be. It's not a negative thing for Virgo, but for Pisces it is, because Pisces is the older sister of Virgo. So when the older sister is less emotionally mature than the younger sister, that tells you the growth here, the development is stunted, because Pisces is where all of us are supposed to end. You know, the zodiac wheel starts at Aries and ends at Pisces, because at the end of life, all of us are supposed to get that we're all one. That I'm a part of you, you're part of me, you're part of that dog and that squirrel outside, you're part of that tree, because the life that made me is the same energy that made you. So what are we fighting about? It doesn't make sense. We're all just one. We're one organism that developed into different variations, and we're all our brothers and sisters, and however you want to spin that, that's fundamentally what it is. When people are on their deathbed, that's when they have clarity about the things that we're fighting about, the things they wasted their time on. And that's when they realize the only thing that ever truly mattered is love, because that's the only thing you can leave here. That's the only thing you leave when you leave this earth. You leave your love, whatever it looked like, whether it was your art, whether it was your scientific experiment, whether it was your community building, whatever, you put love into something that you leave here for us to enjoy, and the next generation gets to enjoy it. That's literally the point of life. Everybody comes here, they bring their hearts and their ideas with them, they put love into everything they do, they create something that benefits the next generation. That's the purpose of life. That's why Aries is energized, and that's why Pisces is reflective. So when a person is neglecting their heart, their emotional well-being, they're already out of sync with the spiritual mission. Virgo is expected to not have a heart because they're here to work. And working and feelings don't go together, okay? So that's understandable. Virgo is preparing herself for marriage. She's preparing herself for the Libra stage. But when you're that old, when you're the oldest soul on earth, and you're this insensitive, then yes, karma is the only way for you to learn that when you're this insensitive towards me, the only thing that you're accumulating towards yourself is lack of sensitivity, because energy is neither created nor destroyed. What you give is what you get. And there's no other way to express it than just that. What you give me and everybody else is exactly what you get back. When you give good energy, you get good energy. When you give, malicious energy, you get malicious energy. That's the simplest way of explaining it, because we are the creators of the energy. It's not happening to us. We're making it happen. We're creating it. So if we come to this world with love and we want to share our love with the world will share its love back with us. And that's the way that it works. So a Pisces that's neglecting, her child, obviously is not in alignment. Virgo sun, Cancer moon with Scorpio sun and Pisces moon. Very nice. I love all this nurturing, watery energy you have going on here. Pisces sun and Venus. At least they're going through it. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. It's okay to go through it, The fire can birth good things. Pisces sun, Cap moon. Yeah, well, we're in Cap moon season, so you're right at home with this energy. 12th house Pisces is 20th degree, which is Scorpio degree. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, so your finances are getting a revamp, but not only that, your sense of personal power is getting a revamp, which is kind of cool. I always loved this about Scorpio energy. That's what I am, Pisces sun and Cap moon. Very nice. My Virgo sun and Cancer moon seems to be weird. I overthink, then I feel everything that I and think about. Yeah, Virgo's big on overthinking, and Cancer moon is definitely feeling everything. Of course. Someone's asking, do I use tropical or sidereal? I use both. But I typically do readings in tropical. I've done a few readings in sidereal, but most people want a tropical reading. Okay, I have 3 Aquarius placements, Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Moon in Pisces. Oh yeah, if you're Moon in Pisces, I know you're going through it with everything that's going on. Virgo Sun, Cancer Moon, I think and I feel. Someone said for sure, Cancer Sun, Pisces has divine faith. We see the unseen. Exactly. And because you see the unseen, you don't need to be on your deathbed to understand that loving yourself and loving others is the only way to have a fulfilled life. And it's only from that place that we can manifest anything that we desire, because love is the ultimate gift that we were given at birth. And it's the ultimate gift that we get to give before our death. I work with a Pisces, and sometimes she hears something that is not intended. Interesting. We have 5 planets orbiting in transits in whatever house your Pisces is in. Yes, that is a lot. What does it mean if my rising is Gemini, Moon in Libra, Sun in Aquarius? Okay, so that's another question. So we're talking about Pisces, the heavy Pisces karmic energy of the moment. So I don't want to go into another direction until we're done with that. So Dana said, yes, she does. And with me being a Virgo, we are opposites. Yes, Virgo and Pisces are opposites. Congrats, Chim K, for lighting up the finger heart. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. I know a Virgo and Pisces moon, very narcissistic. Yeah, the narcissism scale is definitely right there with Virgo and Pisces. Virgo is aware, generally. Pisces is very unaware, generally. And that's usually how it goes. You know, try convincing a Pisces that they're harming you. Have you ever tried that? It's not a fruitful task, because they would much rather flip it around. Because remember, the fish, they're running away from each other. It's not even like in the case of Gemini where they're actually like engaging with each other. Because with Gemini, they're arguing with each other. They're twins. They're together, and they look out for each other. In Greek mythology, you know, the twin brother that stayed on Earth, you know, really wanted to be reconnected with his other twin brother that wasn't on Earth. So Gemini is at least still seeking connection within. But Pisces can't reach connection within because the symbol is like this. So the only way forward is up. But Pisces typically doesn't want to go up. So what they do is run away when they're not being good and they're not actually like living in their purpose. There's nothing anyone can tell them that would make them go, you know what? You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. I need to work on my sensitivity. No, they're not doing that. As a Libra with the Sag rising, I'm always like, WTF when I deal with Pisces, especially women. Yeah, Pisces is a very gentle, obstinate, and yet avoidant energy. And that's what makes it confusing. Because they know what they're doing. They're hoping you don't know what they're doing. And if you were to call them out on what they're doing, they're not admitting to anything. They're not addressing anything. They're not dealing with anything. They're just not. They're just not. Because the denial of Neptune is so strong for many of them. Because remember, Pisces is ruled by both Jupiter and Neptune. When they're in harmony, luck follows them everywhere they go, because Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. So things happen for Pisces naturally and easily. They're super lucky people. Many of them are able to attain their dreams. At work, they're overachievers who don't look like they're overachieving, meaning that they can be counted on to do an excellent job with minimal effort on their part, because they have transcended the physical realm. They're in the spiritual realm. They know the answers before the questions are posed of them. So that awareness is what makes them obstinate, because they're very clear spiritually about which way to go. In the same way that Virgo is always clear about right from wrong, although Virgo will deny this till the day they die. Same with Pisces. They will deny it till the day they die. But both those groups, out of the entire zodiac, I trust these two to always know when something is right and when something is wrong. Because that's their gift. It's their gift. They just know. That's why Pisces knows what's wrong with you before you tell them. It's their spiritual gift. So when they're not able to tap into that, to do that self-analysis, it's detrimental to their own well-being. I think my Cancer moon helps. He likes my Virgo sun thinking. Yeah, we need thinking and feeling. You know, Virgo's the thinker and Pisces is the feeler. Someone says always confusion. Pisces, Mercury, and Venus. Very good. Virgo sun, Cancer moon, Libra oldest son, Virgo Taurus daughter, Sagittarius youngest son. Wow, you have a lot of mix of energies in your families, in your family. Thinkers, feelers, and passionate souls. I love all of this. Pisces sun and Mercury in the 10th house. Ooh, are you working in the occult? Are you working in the arts? What are you working in? Pisces 10th house. I want to hear about that. Let's see. Let me read some of your other comments and then we'll switch. Hello, how are you doing? I'm doing well. I'm happy to be back on here. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. My daughter is a Pisces stellium, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and 2nd house. Oh, beautiful. I love this energy. Yeah, she's going to bring a lot of abundance to you, which explains why your Scorpio is in the 12th house. Your Scorpio degree is in the 12th house. She's a karmic too, since you have that energy there. So that's good. You know, children really come to help us heal. How do you heal Pisces and Virgo? It depends on what the issue is, but I always recommend therapy when the issues are extraneous. My mom's mother is a Pisces, and then I'm the Pisces moon. It's been rough. Oh, I'm sorry. Mom's mom is a Pisces and Pisces moon. This is so interesting since the egg that made you was in your mom's mom. So your maternal grandmother, who's a Pisces, who made your egg, made you a Pisces moon. This is why I'm very interested in ancestral astrology, because bloodlines, they follow each other. At least that's what we believe. As African people, we believe that the blood has the answer. Basically, the blood has a story. Okay, moving on. Scorpio sun, Pisces moon gentleman wallows in his emotions. I'm always told I can't be satisfied when I express my feelings or set boundaries. Any advice? The advice is to learn how to let go, which Pisces should have learned at Scorpio. The thing is, if Pisces doesn't know how to let go, of course they can't be satisfied because they have no boundaries. And that's really the issue with all water signs. Cancer, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, all water signs struggle with boundaries. They don't know their own limits. Boundaries isn't just about staying out of other people's business. It's also about knowing your business so well that you recognize what's outside of your business. And for many people, that's where the struggle is. What's my business and what's outside of my business? And how do I stay more in my business? And for a lot of Pisces, because of their ability to perceive what's hidden from them, it's easy for them to tap into other energies that is not theirs. And many of them lack self-discipline. Many of them lack accountability, back to Neptune. Many of them lack self-control. So they overstep, they overgive, they overindulge, they over everything. And they don't know how to self-regulate, how to bring it back in, how to mitigate it, how to manage it, you know. So that's really it. And as far as, and they do this in love too, you know, like they will notice that a lover, thanks to you guys that are tapping on the screen, I really appreciate it. They will notice that a lover is not giving back the energy, the energetic vibration that they're giving. And instead of going, oh, this person still has some healing work that they need to do, this person is not good for me, Pisces won't think that way. Instead, they will be like, oh, maybe I just haven't given them enough love. Kind of like how they were with mom. So yeah, the lessons from mom affect all of their relationships. Like, oh, he's neglecting me right now. Oh, he's having a rough day. He's having a rough day. I'm just going to give him more love, more attention, more emotions. Maybe he'll feel better. It's like, no, He's abusive. I don't know what else to tell you. He's emotionally manipulative. Like he's trying to see how little he can give you that you can survive off of. That's the game that he's playing with you. How little can I give her that for her to leave me alone? And oh, thank you, Divergent, for giving me the goat gift. I appreciate you and welcome back. It was nice seeing your beautiful face. So yeah, Pisces, they don't understand. It's like they don't want to deal with reality. And it's not because they don't know reality. They just don't want to deal with it. So when the energies in the atmosphere is this, the people that are trained to avoid reality are going to be struggling because they don't want to cope with this. They don't want to deal with this. They don't want to deal with this. But the thing about karma is there is no running away from it. This is why Capricorn rules the 10th house. When you look at the astrology wheel, the 10th house sits at the top of the chart. It's your most dominant placement. And this is why Capricorn is energetically dominant, because it's ruled by Saturn, the planet of karma. So there is no such thing as running away from ourselves, because our karma is ourselves. It's our lives. It's the life we created based on the thought processes we've had, the emotions we've had, the decisions we've had, the behaviors we've had. Our karma is us. It's not something that happens to us. It's something we are creating. So if you don't like your creation, you get to create something else. But a lot of people with Pisces energy, they don't like the math that is required for them to improve. See, Virgo's very good at coming with the calculations to show you what went wrong. Virgo's very good at doing that for you. They're just not good at doing that for themselves. But at least Virgo understands that 1 + 1 = 2. Like Virgo doesn't need to be explained that this led to that, led to that. They get it. They're logical, smart people. Pisces is a smart person that likes to act like they've lost their mind. Okay? And that's fundamentally the problem, because Pisces refuses to see how 1 + 1 = 2. Like, how did I get in this situation? What did I do? So he was neglecting me and he was being emotionally abusive, but then I kept giving him more, and then he kept feeling more emboldened and cocky. So then he kept treating me worse, and then I kept giving him more, and then eventually I had nothing left to give, and I was left destitute because my well had run dry, and now I feel like worthless. Well, how did we get here? Because you didn't feel worthless in the beginning of this relationship. How did we get here? Now, the accountability that's needed for Pisces to stand up and say, you don't deserve my love, they don't want to stand in that power. In fact, the most healing thing for Pisces is Aries energy. Because the zodiac is a wheel, it's not about linear, it's circular, it's a circle. So when Pisces dies, they come back as an Aries. So you wonder why most Aries that you meet are angry? Is because they've just re-entered the matrix and they have to rework their way back to Pisces. And it's not easy to get through all of these 12 stages, as you can see. It's a difficult task for us. So Pisces is the hardest stage in our evolution for all of us, because it requires that you face yourself. And that's why Pisces attract so many narcissists for that reason. It's either they themselves are a narcissist, malignant, like covert narcissist, or they're attracting narcissists. Because the accountability that's needed, like the first time this person is disrespectful or they're rude or they're violating you in some way, a healthy person, when a partner that they're dating violates them, they don't think, oh, they had a rough childhood, let me see what I can do to help them. No, they don't think that. They think, this is not a healthy person. This is not a safe person. And I need to keep myself safe from that person, from that energy. That's what a healthy person does. That's what Virgo would do. That's what Virgo would do, But Pisces doesn't do that. They want to see how dark does it get. And then when they get banged up in the process of that discovery, they don't want to acknowledge that they made the mistake of caring for someone who didn't care for themselves. And that ultimately you cannot make people love themselves if they don't love themselves, because your love is yours and theirs is theirs, and you can't transfer love. It's self-generated, and all of us get it from divinity, from the creator, from source, from life. It's not, we can share love, but when it comes to our sense of self-worth and our connection with the divine, that's not something you can give somebody. It's something that person has to pursue, because it's that connection that makes us treat each other well. I treat you well because I know I have to answer for how I've treated you, because you're a part of me. And I know if I treat you badly, life is going to treat me badly. And I don't want life to, thank you for my gift, I don't want life to treat me badly, so I treat you well. So it's because I feel connected to you that I treat you well, because I see you as a part of me. But when you see yourself as divided from others, it gives you a license to treat them however you want, because you don't see the energy you give them as being a part of yours. Do you see that? So at the Pisces level is where we understand that karma is a collective affair. It's not just my karma and your karma. Yes, there's my karma in my life, but we understand that the energy is one. Therefore, karma is relational. And that's why Pisces is exalted at love, because fundamentally, the worst thing a human can do is to go through life giving zero love to anyone, because all of us are here to help each other. That's literally why we came to Earth, to share love with each other. I'm almost 55, died in October. Sun, I know what you mean. Almost died in October. Yes, that's exactly it. How do I balance a Virgo Sun and Cancer Moon? Oh, that's a long-winded answer, but if you'd like to schedule a reading with me, link in bio to do so. While we're at this juncture, I also want to remind you that I have a lot of free astrology content available on YouTube. I have 4 astrology channels. This information is going on the Aquarius podcast, which is where I talk about horoscope. I have another intuitive healing channel as general astrology information. You can also go to Styled Under Libra, where I talk about astrology and love, and Styled Under Virgo, where I talk about astrology and health and wellness. Okay? Virgo moon is a struggle sometimes. Yes, Virgo moon, Pisces moon, sisters. Let's see. Someone said, yes, I'm aware of my shortcomings. We definitely check it all out. I love your insight. All good, dude. Thank you. Your perspective is so wise. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being here, and thank you for giving me positive feedback. Now let's get into some of these aspects over here. We're almost at the end of our time here, but I just want to go over a few of them so that you understand what's going on. Okay, so just to reiterate, today the Sun is in Pisces, Mercury is in Pisces, Saturn is in Pisces, Neptune is in Pisces, and North Node is in Pisces. We're having North Node at the 20th degree, Neptune degree. Neptune is also at the 20th degree, which is all Cancer degree, which is like household name degree. So motherly issues here are gonna come at play here. Some of you may have been discovering some new things about your mothers recently. Some of you are realizing how much of your healing is tied to your relationship with your mother. The Pisces Sun is also at the Virgo degree, so there's a beautiful balance here between Virgo and Pisces energy showing up right here at the Sun. So we're being asked to think and to let go of emotional responses and to be a little bit more pragmatic. The thing about Virgos is that they pay attention to the specifics. They hardly ever pay attention to your words, although your words may be beautiful and flowery. Virgo's more interested in what you do, your actions, how are you behaving, how are you moving? Because remember, Virgo is sorry about guys. I just had a pop-up that I had to address. Remember, Virgo is the mathematician of the zodiac, okay? So for Virgo, everything is about equations, math. Divergent one said, I'll have to schedule another appointment with you with a new potential before I get too invested. Very good. Yes, link in bio to do that. Yeah, it's not worth getting invested if you don't know if it's going to be a good match. So this abundance of Pisces energy can only be rebalanced by increasing Virgo energy. That's really what I'm trying to communicate. We have to start thinking again, okay? We have to start being accountable for ourselves again. We have to start being responsible for our actions. Pisces love to externalize their actions. If they feel a bad feeling and they do a behavior as a result of that bad feeling, they don't want to acknowledge that they did this thing that was not the right thing. And more importantly, they don't want to acknowledge why they did it, because usually the emotion comes first. They have an emotional experience which makes them feel yucky feelings, and from that yuck they do a thing which they later regret, because at their core they're very sensitive people, but they don't want to own it at the same time. So they want to regret it from a distance, but they don't want to actually like own it, because owning it means they have to examine, well, why did I do that? What was I feeling when I did that? And what was that not the best thing to do? What could I have done instead? You know, this is the kind of analysis that Virgo is constantly engaging in. And this is why Virgo is the perfectionist of the zodiac. And yes, they are better than a lot of us at how to do life, because they're very mechanical. They don't veer far off of their path. But for Pisces, the thought process needed to do that kind of critical thinking is often missing. So the karma that we're getting right now with North Node being in Pisces and Saturn being in Pisces is directly tied to our lack of sensitivity. If we've been insensitive, if we haven't been compassionate with people, we haven't been respecting people's boundaries, we haven't been respecting our own boundaries, we haven't been kind, the energy that we're getting right now is exactly the energy that we gave. So what you're getting during this time that we're having this heavy Pisces energy is the truth of the energy you've been giving Earth. And if you want Earth to give you a different energy, then you have to give Earth a different energy. And the energy is love, it's connection, it's a higher vibration, understanding that all of us are in a simulation. And in this simulation, we're all one energy that are here trying to do life together. And yes, sometimes there's going to be conflict. Sometimes we're not going to see eye to eye. And that's okay, because all of us are different. But we should always aspire to be kind, to be fair, to be compassionate, and to treat each other in the manner in which we would want to be treated if we were in that person's position. And that is the whole story of Pisces. Pisces, more than anyone, understands that they can be in your position. The others are so deeply attached to their story that they don't understand this, but Pisces gets this. They get that every body can have a different spirit in it at any time, because these aren't our bodies. We're borrowing them. That's why when we die, we leave them here, and then we transcend, because it doesn't belong to us. We don't take it with us. So the whole point of this ride is to use our energy in our body to make a positive difference on Earth. And we do that every day with the choices that we're making. And that is the story of Pisces. So this energy is telling you what energy you've been putting out, because that energy is being reflected back to you, especially now because the moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn moon is a very karmic placement. Every Capricorn placement is very karmic, meaning heavy karma attached to it. So if you've been playing with people's love, if people have been giving you love that you've been playing with or neglecting, if you've been playing emotional games to get access to love because you don't inherently believe you're deserving of it, you're going to be facing a lot of emotional karma during this time, because Capricorn moon, much like Virgo moon, is all about the minutia of the task. Like, what did you actually do? Like the specifics of what you did and what you're getting back in return. This is why a lot of you like to call Capricorn cold. It's not that Capricorn is cold, it's that Capricorn is precise. Capricorn is fair in the sense that they give you what you deserve. Not what you want, not what you feel like you should have, but what you deserve. Capricorn is very impartial as a zodiac sign, and that's the beauty of Saturn, is that it gives you emotional distance. Capricorn does not get very emotionally invested because they're interested in the facts of the case, like the facts of the matter, like what actually happened here. And Capricorn is very measured with giving feedback based on performance and not feelings. So if we've been doing things with our emotions or other people's emotions that have not been in the interest of love or fostering loving relationships, we're going to be met with some of that. Wrapping up here with some of the main aspects that are played today. The sun is square Jupiter, so today is not a lucky day. Okay, I'll just put it simply. Today is not a lucky day. Today is a day when people are idealistic about things that are actually not rooted in reality. Capricorn is very rooted in reality, in concrete, tangible life, and the fantasy never works for Capricorn for this reason. So the thing to do today is to not hope and dream, but rather to work and come up with a plan. Other aspect that's happening, Moon sextile Mercury, so that's really a good day for interesting conversations, a good day for analyzing information, for data analysis, for a deeper understanding of a subject matter. If you've been struggling with something for a while, I recommend journaling as a way to have a conversation with yourself about that topic. I suspect good things are going to happen for you if you're willing to actually talk to yourself about things or talk to a therapist about things, because today is a good day to have a new understanding of problems that are complicated. The moon is in opposition to Mars today, so there's going to be emotional issues that are going to be met with a lot of anger and frustration. You know, it's okay to experience this. And yes, these aspects are for everyone, for the person who asks. It's okay to experience it without owning it. What I mean is you're not your feelings. You're a person who's experiencing emotions. Yeah, it's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel mad, but you don't want to be a mad person. You don't want to live like an angry person. There's a distinction. It's okay to open yourself up to conflict for the sake of resolution. Conflict is not for the sake of emotional explosion. We engage in conflict for resolution. So be mindful of this need to war, just to war, because you're wasting your energy on Earth. Moon sextile Saturn. So again, very karmic energy here with regards to emotional stability. Whatever emotional stability or instability you're currently experiencing in your home life is a byproduct of the energy that you have been bringing to your home life. Because when the moon is sextile Saturn, it actually brings a lot of very good karmic energy to the home. Remember, the moon is the mother. That's why the moon is the home. The moon is a ruler of Cancer, which is about the home. So the state of the home right now is a reflection of the karma that we've been bringing to the home. Have we been bringing love to the home or not? And that's what that will look like. We also have Moon trine Uranus. So again, emotional expansiveness, emotional independence, emotional freedom. We're finally able to look at emotional issues from a different perspective, a different point of view. We're having very transcendent thoughts that we've never had before. We're thinking outside the box. We're willing to let go of the old, whatever made us feel restricted and constricted, and we're looking to explore something new, to try something new, to, just fly. That's Aquarius energy. Aquarius just flies. They don't think too much about it. They don't have expectations of how it comes out at the end. They just want to be free. They just want to feel the energy of freedom, the energy of exploration. They just want to transcend their own limitations. For Aquarius, a lot of life is about how do I break through my own psychological limitations to become more pure. And more pure in terms of like my most real, raw, authentic self. So you might be having more of these revelations, emotional revelations about mindsets, attitudes, beliefs, behaviors that you've exhibited that have been keeping you from really growing into the expansive being that you're here to be. Moon conjunct Pluto speaks to our need to emotionally release, emotionally drain ourselves of feelings that no longer serve us, Pluto is about breaking so you can be reborn. Pluto is who rules Scorpio. In order to have rebirth, we need to have death. If you're having emotional issues right now, it's because you're refusing the death part, which may be the acknowledgement of the harm that you've been causing yourself and others. Once you acknowledge the harm you've been causing yourself and others, then you can choose to be more loving. You can choose a new vibration. And then you can commit to that vibration. And that's the power of Scorpio, is that Scorpio is always willing to say, I did it, so what? Scorpio is very like, and? That's their energy. Yes, I did it, so what? And? And what about it? Because they know nobody's perfect. No human being is perfect. We're not here to try to look perfect. We're here to work on ourselves and to recognize when we've gone down the wrong path, and then make decisions to correct that so we can keep elevating and keep changing and keep growing. So those of you who are willing to engage in this work, today is going to be a very wonderful day for you. And those of you who are not, you're going to be stuck at this stage of banging your head against the wall emotionally, looking for things that are just not happening. Mercury trine Mars is also a very good harmonious aspect in terms that it brings about thinking, instincts, information that comes from instincts, and an ability to fearlessly go towards the conflict for the sake of finding a solution. Mars is a ruler of Aries, and Aries are some of the smartest people when it comes to responding to their instincts. This is why you don't ever want to start a war with an Aries, because Aries knows exactly where to strike you to end you. These are the warriors of the zodiac. They've been gifted with the ability to fight, to survive, to thrive. Thank you for being new here, Miss Glorious Briggs. Thank you for being new here. Aries is going to get to their outcome fast. They don't miss a thing. Like, Aries could be in the middle of a storm and they will be the only one who knows just how to bend so that bullet can go past their face. Like, these people have an innate, spiritual ability to know exactly how to avoid, the fray, how to get out of the fray. They know how to do that instinctively, and they do it so well. Everyone is so intimidated by you guys. Yes, because you're warriors. They know they don't want to be on your bad side. Of course they're intimidated by you. They know you don't back down, and you know how to strike. Virgo's very good with precision, with fine-tuning their things before they act. Aries doesn't need to fine-tune. They just know how to dominate easily. In their sleep, they can do this. This is how they are. They're made like this. It doesn't matter how bad, big, and scary you think you are. And Aries is never scared of you because it's not in them. What are they scared about? So when Mercury is trine Mars, we know the words to use to get our message across. And we have to remember that the point of communication is to elevate. That's the purpose of it, to elevate. And the point of engaging in conflict is conflict resolution. We engage in conflict because we want things to get better. So use your words wisely. Choose them for the sake of elevation. Today is not a lucky day, so be careful with how you throw your words around. Mercury square Jupiter speaks to that because we need to resist the urge to function in extremes. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, so they function in extremes a lot, and we're being called back to the center. It doesn't have to be all black and white. Sometimes it's right there in the middle, and it's okay. Again, no one and nothing is perfect. We're not here to find perfection. There is no right way. There's a right way for you. There's no right way. So it's about really going within, which is what Pisces energy is about. When it's healthy, it's introspection, it's meditative energy, where we take time to go within to really examine what's going on. We also have Mars trine Saturn. So karmic energy here with warring, with fighting, with challenges, whatever challenges we're supposed to resolve during this time, we will resolve them. Challenges that cannot be resolved, we need to think about understanding the limitations of our energy and then working within that, as opposed to continuing to do the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So that I'm going to leave it at that because we're almost at an hour and a half. So that was your astrology horoscope for the day. I'm glad to be back on here to do these lives for you guys. I will take one question before we wrap up. For those of you who missed the beginning of this, I'm going to have this video posted on YouTube, so you'll get to go watch it at the Aquarius podcast, so you can catch some of the earlier things that I discussed, because I spent the vast majority of the beginning of this conversation talking about Pisces energy in general, because we're going to be here for a while in this energy, and I need you to understand what's happening. Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out. Why is there so many Pisces placements? It's just a transits. Our planets are always transiting. So this is the motion of the moment. So a lot of sensitivities in the air. You'll be getting with me for a reading. Yours is everywhere. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, link in bio if you wish to schedule a reading with me. We can talk specifically about your chart. And I look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you guys. You take care of yourselves, okay? Au revoir!
For more astrology content, you may follow all of our YouTube astrology channels. The first one being at Intuitive Healing for Astrology 101, at Styled Under Libra for Love, at Astrology Weekly for Horoscopes and Manifestation, and lastly at Styled Under Virgo for Medical Astrology. You may check out intuitivehealing.com for astrology readings as well as healing crystals, and make sure to check out our manifestation group on Patreon at patreon.com/intuitivehealing. Catch you soon on the next video.